So much tremendous competition here at Legacy Wrestling, and here is one of the international best.
John Gresham has certainly fought all over the world, not just in this country, in Japan, in Europe. He's made a name for himself internationally. It only makes sense that he wants to compete here at Legacy.
Well, if you want to talk about one of the international best, look no further than this man, Drew Gulak. I want to hear the rest of the song. I mean, if you want to talk about, you know, people who are watching people for possible opportunities around the world, I mean, this is a match that a lot of people are watching.
Absolutely. Gulak is certainly one of the best independent professional wrestlers we have on the scene today.
You know, this is going to be, we've talked a lot about athleticism, we've talked a lot about the kind of competition, but this is going to be a very strategic kind of match, a little bit more of a thinking kind of match. This is literally going to be watching a game of chess and seeing how the pieces are going to move and defend against each other.
Absolutely. This is going to be more than just your stand-up, knockdown brawl. These guys are going to have to pull out every weapon in their arsenal, wrench everything in as hard as they can, bring things in they haven't used before. The opportunities are endless here with a match like this where you can only win by submission.
Yes. And that's a huge element of pride, too, to try to make somebody else tap out. And also, on the other side of it, trying not to be tapped out.
Nobody wants to tap out. We've seen Gresham use that awesome octopus submission. No doubt we'll see that here again tonight. Will that be enough, though, to make Drew Gulak submit?
But not a pinfall attempt because it is a submissions-only match. Yes. Now trying to jockey for position again. Yes. Drew. Oh, there you go. You saw that little bit of a nudge from John Gresham as he was trying to shrug away from Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak, a very dangerous competitor, very well versed in submission grappling.
Yes. We're going to see two guys that are very technical with their maneuvers here. These aren't the kind of stuff you see every night on every wrestling show. This is something truly special and intricate. Is actually like a really good word to describe it. It takes so much precision to pull off these submissions the way they need to be pulled off.
You know, you talked about that devastating octopus hold last time we were here. You saw Gresham use that against and to beat Leo Rush. And in an interesting note, here you have Drew Gulak, a man who, when you look at Matthew Riddle, who was here competing last time, a former UFC competitor, well, Drew Gulak has been one of the many trainers who's been helping Matt Riddle make that transition into professional wrestling. So you have to think, you know, wait a minute, there's a little bit of understanding that kind of mat game as well on the side of Drew Gulak to be able to articulate that transition into pro wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not going to take anything away from Drew Gulak and his technical wrestling ability. Like I said, he is maybe one of the most underrated technical wrestlers on the indie scene today, as we will find out here tonight.
It was a painful casual body slam from Drew Gulak, but somehow Gresham able to keep onto that wrist, and just look at the torque. Look at the skin color of Drew Gulak's arm right now as it turns pale white from that wrist lock.
The joints are not supposed to bend at that angle, that's for sure.
Let's go Gulak! Let's go Gulak! Let's go Gresham! Let's go Gulak! Let's go Gulak!
leverage from Gulak now has the arm and wrist torqued of Jonathan Gresham. Gresham trying to get a better position. Trying to get a leg in. I wasn't sure if he was trying to jockey for a better position or might try to slide in an early octopus.
In this kind of match here, it makes sense that the crowd is not in a raucous. It's not because they're disinterested. It's because you have to marvel at this. It is so intricate and so precise. You have to almost study it like you were studying for an exam of some sort. You know, this is not your typical high-flying matchup.
But just like a high-flying matchup, you blink and you will miss it, just like that whole exchange right there, where you thought for a second Gresham was going to be able to reverse it, and yet it was still Gulak able to stay in control. Gresham has Gulak up against the ropes. Oh, monkey flip. Oh, but it was Gulak able to hold on to Gresham this time.
Gulak stubborn and not letting that wrist go.
But smart strategic wrestling.
Oh, look at him. The torque.
Pulling at the
Oh, and the
fingers.
digits. Oh.
The leverage applied. Torquing away at the wrist, the hand of Jonathan Gresham.
Thankfully, Gresham gets to the rope. Referee Bruce with the count there, breaking the hold.
Gresham, you saw him trying to shake it off that pain that he had in his hand, now trying to keep that hand away from Gulak. Now goes for a standing side headlock, able to take down Drew Gulak, trip of the leg. Try to keep that leg trapped. You saw Gulak try to escape to no avail, and now those legs laced. It's Jonathan Gresham.
No.
This is another match where you have to wonder if the size difference really makes a huge factor here. Does Gresham being a lot shorter than Gulak help him, or does it hurt him? Or does Gresham smart enough a wrestler to know how to use that to his advantage?
Says no.
Still, Gresham doing a good job of keeping Gulak grounded. You see Gulak, though, trying to find a way out of it, hooking him up. I thought Gresham was in a little bit of trouble now, but now those legs laced. He has both legs perched across the back of Drew Gulak. I think we're going to see a bow and arrow. Oh, Gulak able to maneuver through it. There's no pinfalls, Drew. You know, that instinct, that wrestler's instinct to try to go for a pin, it didn't work this time. This is a submissions only match, and now again caught in that bow and arrow from Jonathan Gresham.
Finally able to get it this time. And he'd extend those knees a little bit and just to make that angle of the spine get a little bit more acute.
Oh, that's torque. Look at the way his leg is bending. You see Gresham trying to fight it so he doesn't turn over, that he doesn't give up his back to Drew Gulak. But Gulak keeping that, the angle, the pressure on that leg.
Trying to keep Gresham at the center of the ring so he can't grab at that rope. Gresham so desperately reaching for it.
Keeping those legs laced. Oh, wait a minute. Bow and arrow from Drew Gulak now. Oh, but right at the ropes. Gresham knew exactly where it was in the ring.
Gulak throwing Gresham and referee Bruce. Gresham showing that you have to know where you are at all times in a match like this. Know where your positioning is in relation to the ropes, because sometimes that's your only hope.
Now, after trying to go back and forth with almost a hip toss. Now that neck breaker from Jonathan Gresham after they jockey for position back and forth.
Obviously, you need the submission to win the match, but sometimes you need those sort of higher impact moves like that to wear your opponent down, to make it a little more difficult for him to be able to break out of those submissions or to even crawl away to that bottom rope.
Now, strike from Gresham trying to break the cover. Oh.
Looking for an armbar, maybe.
Almost a Juji Gatami. No, now a short arm scissor.
No. Ask him. You want to keep going? Yeah. He wants to keep going. Ask him. What do you say?
Gulak.
You say?
Gulak could be in a lot of trouble. There's not a lot of space to move there. That short arm scissor is just the way it's locked up, the way you're wrapped up in that. You have nowhere you can move your arm. Completely captured. Oh. Gulak, I thought, was going to try to power up, but doesn't quite have it. And now Gresham still with that short arm scissor. And again!
The deadlift, the brute strength of Drew Gulak there. That is unfathomable.
Now it got rid of Gresham, but look how much pressure, look how much pain it took Drew Gulak to bear through in order to do that, to get the release from Jonathan Gresham.
And he would do well not to expose that that arm is hurting. If Gresham's smart and he sees that, that's something he could definitely capitalize on and take advantage of.
Oh, with reckless abandon, slamming him into the ropes. You saw him just bounce off the mat. And again.
Again, not a submission, but a necessary maneuver to wear down Jonathan Gresham.
Gresham favoring that knee a little bit. Oh, Gulak tried to go for another one of those slams, but you see, look how he's trying to extend his body, Jonathan Gresham, to stay away from that vicious slam attempt again. And now a gut wrench, but no, blocked. Oh, banana split, but this isn't a pinfall. This looks like a pinfall, but it's not. It's purely a submission move.
He says no.
Oh, he's trying to move that position, and now it could be a knee bar. But Gresham able to roll through just quickly enough, and now has captured the leg of Drew Gulak, and now the arm. Oh, and now he's the one tearing away at the digits of the hand of Drew Gulak.
Gulak smartly gets that foot on the bottom rope there to break that hold. I can't imagine snapping one of those fingers like that. Unbelievable.
And I want you to think about this. Jonathan Gresham going after that, very smart, because when he locks in that octopus, he does go for that other arm. If he torques back in that hand while you're locked up, you're not able to escape. You might not have any other choice but to tap.
Well, clearly, earlier in the match, Gulak was favoring that arm. It only makes sense to take advantage of that once you get the momentum in your favor.
Oh! He had Gulak's arm wrapped around that barricade and then just snapped the barricade. I mean, that's metal. If you never noticed that, by the way, it's a big metal frame on the outside of the ring.
It doesn't tickle.
Standing hammerlock has him up. Oh, just dropping him on that injured arm. Oh, key lock. He's going for a key lock. Oh,
He's got to grab that wrist.
Oh, Gulak tried to roll through, but instead he got caught. I called it a key lock. It's Kimura. I'm sorry. Now, suplex.
A sickening thud as Gresham's flesh hit the mat.
You see both men reeling now. They've been targeting each other meticulously. Those driving headbutts into the midsection of Drew Gulak. And again.
Gresham using his small frame as a battering ram of sorts.
He's a small frame, but he's pretty solid. Uh-oh. Gresham able to roll through. Now back and forth. These would normally be pinfall attempts, but I think either man, I think they're trying to position themselves for a possible submission attempt. Oh! See, Gresham goes for it first. Figure four. He has a figure four.
A figure four is not an easy maneuver to get out of. We've seen many wrestlers over the last 30, 40 years tap out to the figure four. Just wrenching it in even more. Gulak doing what he can to alleviate some of that pressure.
I mean, Gresham has that in pretty deep. And with that other leg, he's just almost standing on the ankle of Drew Gulak.
Now, if Drew can somehow roll onto his stomach, he can reverse this, and the pressure will be on Gresham, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Look at the torque of the ankle of Jonathan Gresham, but Gresham has the rope. Well, I mean, Gresham tried to use the ropes to escape, and in this case, I think Gulak almost used it as an advantage.
See what Gulak has in store here.
And oh, look at it. Oh,
no idea what that was called.
Painfully effective. But Gresham able to maneuver out of it. Oh! Captured the legs of Gulak. Gulak trying to roll through it, and he does. And now he has to like, oh, uh-oh. It could be the Gulak. That ankle lock. Firmly applied. He's tapped so many people out. He's defended the CZW World Heavyweight Championship with that maneuver. Gresham still not giving. Gulak knew it might not be enough, now trying to transition to another move, but Gresham positioning himself to try to keep away from it. Headlock takeover, keeping Gulak on the ground, keeping his back on the ground, now has his arm all wrapped up. Crucifix, able to keep him in position exactly where he wants him.
Gresham looking to get the advantage here.
Gresham roll through.
A big kick to the jaw from Jonathan Gresham as he goes back to working on that arm. Could we see it? Oh, the octopus submission. He's wrenching it in tight there. This could be really bad for Drew Gulak. We have seen many wrestlers step out to this move. And now the added effect of the elbows to the
Look at the pressure.
There.
Oh no, and Gulak.
Drew Gulak.
Gulak taps out.
Unbelievable. Again, another victim falls prey to the octopus. As you said, Phil, he was very smartly working on that arm the whole time just to set up that octopus submission there at the end. A brilliant strategy by Gresham.